Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. My mothers, my great beloved mothers of the human race. Today, this is a message and kind of an SOS, an emergency message, because I have to point out things that may become or hinder the progress of how you mothers get to know and get to implement what we looked at in the events, which was reliability. But in this foundation that you are laying down for future generations, there are things that you have to look at, which are in one way or the other are hazards. They are kind of hazards, but in a what you call, when someone is sleeping, they are under a certain state of what they are sleeping, but along the way, after a certain whatever, they wake up. So what I wanted to show is that under the 11th centuries, there were programs like the taxation, the tax industry, or the taxation, the income tax and revenues which were collected somewhere, used as insurance covers and what have you. Yes, some of these things can be put in the running of the every economy of the country. However, the running economy of the country as well as institutions. If you are to look at the program, that program which you call there's the VAT, there's so many taxes that are always collected in order to help governments to implement or to pay their civil service and what have you, and social whatever. But the thing is, which I wanted to point out, that on the other side of the world, where I am not, but my angels have always been there. My angels have always been there working very, very hard to work out how to break free from the what you call the damage that was imposed upon my interest of freeing every woman to understand the beauty of life, as well as freeing every human being. However, in that course of me doing so, I had barriers. I had barriers to break. I had so many things happened. And in most cases, these things were, when I couldn't find my way out of whatever, I could always come out as either a catastrophe, a natural catastrophe, or a plague, or things like that. In this scenario, I wanted to point out today, I'm hovering over France. I'm in France, down in part of Italy, France, Italy, Bulgaria, and a bit of Portugal. But what I wanted to say is that while I was on the high horizon, while I'm in the upper sky, I'll always listen to what goes on in the hearts of men, in their offices or in their whatever, what they are discussing. When I was listening to a program or something from Bulgaria, these are men who are still intent. That's not all of them, but some people who are saying, we have to keep the tax that was imposed, not on them, but what was imposed on me. The same story I have noticed that was going on in Italy as well as in France. My people, these taxes These taxes, they are not taxes, but they are weapons. Let's classify them as weapons. Weapons that if someone was to put a tax that every penny, every money that goes into your account, there is someone always waiting to snatch it. And these are trained in institutions of what you call a very, very deadly curriculum. Men and women trained to be thieves. They wait in the ages of the sex predators, human traffickers. These are men who are sometimes they classify the satisfied chartered accountants. They wait whatever that they scour what money, how much has he got in his pocket. Each and every one of them has already, before you come out of the whatever, they know what you will be left with you. For me, I've always given money out because I never want to keep money. If I keep money in whatever in my houses, those gangs will come and whatever steal it. Because if they can walk out and say, we are chartered satisfied accountants, and so that way. I just want to send a warning to my people of Rome, that's Italy, Greece, as well as Bulgaria, that this was a part of the conjectured beliefs in which these taxes that you collected, or these taxes which were imposed on my integrities and dignities, were very, very costly. If you had to put them in a monetary or whatever human life, I think billions of, we talk about maybe 7 billion people have been killed under this program of tax whatever, the tax or whatever that was imposed on every citizen of this planet. And whereas while the taxes were imposed on every citizen on this planet, if you couldn't pay it in cash, you could pay it with your blood. So my warning to countries, because as I said, if people in France will tell you that maybe they cannot see me because the men have eyes, but they cannot see. People in France, people in Bulgaria, and another part of, is it that Switzerland or something like that, and Bulgaria. My people of Bulgaria, yes, me, some of you are very, very beautiful mothers of mine. Some of you, maybe I don't know what causes this, what we call a vendetta, but the vendetta can be very costly. Your vendetta against my interest to make every human being free from the bondage of disease and whatever. Because disease, well, before I go any further, I would like to explain to the people of Italy, who they named, I think, because these are my children who told me this, that we did put a city called Vatican, V-A-T, verified or whatever tax. That's where we sit and organize our gang rep. Gang rep. You rep your dignity, we rep your integrity, we rep your whatever. If you don't pay us with the cash, you pay with your blood. That's why there is a cross, which they say they crucified. And if you look at the images of what you call the psychological weapon, of what we call the image of Jesus on the cross, with a crown of thorns on his head, and wounds and whatever in every part of his body, and also stripped naked to the You imagine a man on the cross with a crown of thorns on his head, beaten, and every drop of blood is coming out of those wounds on his skin. That is what I wanted to send to one day government, the institution in the Vatican, and as well as in Bulgaria, and Switzerland. There's some, not all of them, but these are people who are kind of hard to understand that me, I don't intend no harm to anybody. But if you organize yourself to come and say we're going to attack my people, I'll tell you those gangs. I am who constructs every muscle tissue on your faces. Every muscle tissue on your faces, it's me who constructs it. If you're at war, then I don't know how you'll go out on the street if your every muscle tissue on your face has been shredded. If I litter you with the same ones through the region of the very true religion of your red and white blood, which is Islam, and I come and I litter you with the monkeypox, a deadly disease, worse than monkeypox, then I don't know which way you can go. All I want to say is that lift and take away these taxes or the discussion which we are kind of working on. I need money to be able to work out a program that is beneficial for everyone. A few individuals in Bulgaria, Switzerland, as well as France, and Greece and Italy. These programs, these are a few whatever, can be very deadly to the entire planet. If I never intend to offend anybody, but my children, the rest of the European community, are looking and I say, why would we have to go on this war?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.